12:58 p.m. Lenox Avenue is loud in the middle of the day. Bus brakes squeal. A hot dog cart hisses steam into the air. Coins clink in a numbers runner's pocket as he slips into a doorway. Storefront radios spill gospel and baseball at the same time. Harlem is doing what it always does. Surviving in public. Then 6 uniforms appear like a bruise forming. Not walking. Not patrolling. Moving with purpose. Boots in a straight line. Hands already near leather holsters. Faces set in that special expression cops wear when they want the street to understand one thing. This is for show. 3 p.m. Bumpy Johnson is on the sidewalk with 2 associates, dressed clean, moving slow, not rushing for anybody. He looks like a man who owns his own time. The kind of man who has lived long enough to stop explaining himself to the world. Detective Sean O'Malley steps out first. Pale face. Hard jaw. Eyes that don't hide what they think. He's holding a folded paper like it's a ticket to a circus and he's the ringmaster. He calls out loud enough for the whole block to hear. O'Malley. Ellsworth Johnson. Heads turn. Conversations die mid-sentence. 50 people, maybe more, pivot like the street itself just snapped its neck. Bumpy stops. He doesn't run. Doesn't argue. Doesn't even look surprised. He turns slowly. Meets O'Malley's eyes. O'Malley smiles like he's been practicing this moment in the mirror. O'Malley. Got a warrant. Illegal gambling. He unfolds the paper and waves it once, just long enough for nobody to read it but everybody to see it. Then O'Malley steps in close and grabs Bumpy's wrist with unnecessary force, twisting it outward like he wants pain to be part of the paperwork. The handcuffs bite down. Metal on bone. Click. Click. Harlem goes silent in a way it only goes silent when rage is trying to behave. Bumpy's 2 associates tense. One takes a half step forward. Bumpy lifts 2 fingers without looking back. Stop. That small gesture holds back a crowd better than any baton. Because in Harlem, when Bumpy signals calm, calm is what keeps people alive. O'Malley leans in, voice thick with satisfaction. O'Malley. The great Bumpy Johnson. Not so tough now. Bumpy looks at him. Then looks past him at the people watching. The mothers on stoops. The old men outside the barber shop. The kid holding a newspaper too big for his hands. Bumpy's mouth curls into a slight smile. Not fear. Not anger. A private joke. Because Bumpy already knows something O'Malley doesn't. This arrest isn't the trap. The arrest is the mistake. And in 10 minutes, the NYPD is going to be forced to let him go. May 1960. In New York, power is supposed to look like badges and courtrooms. But real power is quieter. It hides in favors. In phone numbers memorized. In men who owe you their careers and don't want anyone to know why. Bumpy Johnson is a criminal, yes. A numbers king. A Harlem legend. But he's also something else. A connector. He's the man who paid bail for the wrong kid who grew up to become the right politician. He's the man who ensured a judge's cousin didn't get hurt when a strike got ugly. He's the man who smoothed over a union dispute before it became a headline that embarrassed City Hall. Bumpy doesn't just run Harlem's underworld. He has threads running into the overground too. That's what O'Malley never understood. O'Malley isn't new to Harlem. He's been around long enough to hate it properly. He's the kind of detective who calls it cleaning up when he means humiliating black men in public. He's been trying to catch Bumpy for years, not because he believes in justice, but because he wants a trophy. And trophies are best when they're dragged through the street. This warrant isn't clean. It's illegal gambling, backed by planted evidence. A baggie of slips that didn't come from Bumpy's pocket. A witness statement from a man who suddenly got his own charges reduced. Paper that looks official enough to start an arrest and messy enough to fall apart later. But O'Malley doesn't care about later. He wants the moment. He wants Harlem to watch its king get cuffed like any other man. He wants Bumpy to react. Beg. Threaten. Swing. Anything that makes the story easy. Bumpy gives him none of it. The perp walk begins. O'Malley grips Bumpy's elbow too tight, guiding him toward the squad car like he's escorting a prizefighter to a ring. The crowd follows at a distance, quiet but boiling. A woman mutters a prayer. A man spits on the ground. A young guy clenches his fists like he's about to do something stupid. Bumpy keeps walking, steady, eyes forward. He doesn't need to look back. He can feel Harlem behind him like a heartbeat. At the squad car, O'Malley shoves Bumpy's head down a little harder than necessary. Bumpy's smile widens a fraction. O'Malley doesn't notice. He's too busy enjoying himself. 3:12 p.m. 32nd Precinct. The building smells like old coffee and sweat and paperwork that never ends. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead like insects. The front desk is busy with routine chaos. A drunk in the corner arguing with nobody. A woman filing a complaint that won't go anywhere. 2 officers laughing too loud at something unfunny. Bumpy gets marched in like he's supposed to feel small. He doesn't. They do the routine booking. Fingerprinting ink cold on his fingertips. Mugshot backdrop with height lines that reduce a human being to measurements. A clerk typing without looking up, like she's logging inventory. O'Malley stands close, arms crossed, watching with satisfaction. He leans toward the desk sergeant. O'Malley. We hold him. 48 hours. Max without charge. He says it like it's a vacation he's been saving up for. 48 hours where Bumpy sits in a cell while Harlem wonders what comes next. O'Malley turns to Bumpy, voice low. O'Malley. Your lawyer can't help you. Evidence is solid. Bumpy finally speaks. Soft. Bumpy. I didn't call a lawyer. O'Malley scoffs. Bumpy's eyes lift, calm as a man reading tomorrow's paper today. Bumpy. I called someone who matters. O'Malley laughs once, dismissive. Then Bumpy asks for his one phone call. They bring him to the phone. A heavy black receiver bolted to the wall. The cord thick, like the precinct expects rage. Bumpy dials from memory. No hesitation. No directory. The number lives in his head like a loaded key. The call connects. Bumpy speaks 8 words total. Quiet. Controlled. Then he hangs up. The entire call lasts 35 seconds. The guard beside him assumes it was a lawyer because that's what prisoners do. Call lawyers. Beg. Explain. Bargain. Bumpy doesn't bargain. He's not asking for help. He's reminding someone of a debt. They put him in a holding cell with 7 other men. The cell smells like sour breath and old regret. One man sits on a bench staring at the wall, eyes glassy. Another paces, muttering. A third sleeps upright, head against bars. When Bumpy walks in, every man in that cell recognizes him. Their bodies shift subtly, making space. Not fear exactly. Respect. Even in a precinct cell, Harlem hierarchy holds. Bumpy sits. Hands cuffed in front. Back straight. Eyes calm. He waits. 3:18 p.m. The phone rings at the precinct front desk. A sharp, insistent ring that cuts through the building's noise like a knife. The desk officer answers, casual at first. Then his face changes. His posture snaps upright. His eyes widen. His mouth tightens. The color drains from his cheeks like he's listening to a ghost. He covers the receiver and calls for Captain Bradley. Bradley comes out of his office, annoyed, then takes the phone. He listens. 2 seconds. 5 seconds. 10. His face goes pale in a way that has nothing to do with fear of street criminals. This is fear of people who can end careers with a sentence. Bradley's voice comes out forced and polite. Yes, sir. Understood. Immediately. He hangs up and for a moment just stands there, staring at the phone like it might explode. Then he moves fast. Too fast for a man of his rank. He strides down the hall toward O'Malley's desk. O'Malley looks up, still pleased with himself. Bradley doesn't slow down. Bradley. Release Bumpy Johnson. Now. O'Malley blinks. O'Malley. What? Bradley's voice is sharp. Not negotiable. Bradley. Now. O'Malley stands, confused, anger rising. O'Malley. Captain, we just arrested him. The evidence. Bradley cuts him off. Bradley. That was the police commissioner. O'Malley freezes. Bradley. The mayor called him. Release him. Now. The room feels like it tilts. O'Malley's mouth opens. Then closes. He's trying to understand how a Harlem numbers man reached the mayor in less than 10 minutes. O'Malley. On what grounds? Bradley's eyes burn into him. Bradley. Mistaken identity. Paperwork error. I don't care if you say aliens forged the warrant. Make it go away. O'Malley's face flushes red. O'Malley. This is ridiculous. Bradley leans in close enough that only O'Malley can hear the venom. Bradley. Ridiculous is you taking the whole precinct down with you. Do you want internal affairs crawling up your... He stops himself, because professionalism is still a costume they wear. Bradley straightens. Bradley. Go. Uncuff him. O'Malley stands there, stiff, humiliated. And that's when another layer of the power play arrives. Outside the precinct, 3 black limousines pull up one after another. Not loud. Just undeniable. The kind of cars that make cops glance at each other because those cars mean lawyers, judges, and trouble. Doors open. Out steps a city councilman. Black. Well-dressed. Calm. Behind him, a judge. Black. Older. Eyes sharp. And a prominent businessman, black, carrying himself like he's used to walking into rooms where people underestimate him. They don't shout. They don't threaten. They simply walk toward the entrance like they own the sidewalk. Officers at the door stiffen. Because this isn't Harlem rage. This is political consequence. Inside, word spreads fast. You can feel it in the way officers stop laughing. In the way clerks suddenly type faster. In the way a rookie cop looks around like he's trying to find the exit to a problem he didn't create. 3:22 p.m. 10 minutes after he was cuffed on Lenox Avenue, Bumpy Johnson is walked out of a holding cell. An officer unlocks the bars with hands that don't feel steady anymore. Bumpy stands calmly, like he's leaving a barbershop, not jail. O'Malley is waiting. Forced to be the one to do it. The captain's eyes are on him, daring him to make it worse. O'Malley steps forward, jaw clenched so tight it looks like it might crack. He reaches for Bumpy's cuffs. His hands shake slightly as he unlocks them. Click. Metal releases flesh. Bumpy rubs his wrists once, slow, feeling where the cuffs bit. He doesn't complain. Doesn't dramatize. He looks at O'Malley as if O'Malley is something stuck to his shoe. Bradley clears his throat, voice loud enough for the room to hear. Bradley. Mr. Johnson. There appears to have been an error. Bumpy says nothing. Bradley continues, words stiff. Bradley. You're free to go. O'Malley forces it out like swallowing glass. O'Malley. Apologies. It barely qualifies as a word. Bumpy finally speaks, voice soft. Bumpy. It's all right. 2 words. Calm. Polite. And somehow that is more humiliating than if he had shouted. Because shouting would mean the arrest touched him. That it mattered. Bumpy's calm means O'Malley's whole performance was pointless. Bumpy walks toward the exit. As he passes the front desk, the city councilman steps forward slightly, nodding at Bumpy. The judge inclines his head. The businessman's eyes meet Bumpy's with the silent language of favors repaid. Bumpy nods back. Minimal. Controlled. No public thanks. That's how real power moves. It doesn't announce itself. It just changes outcomes. Outside, a crowd has formed. Not 50 anymore. 100. Maybe more. Word traveled from Lenox to the precinct faster than the squad car did. Harlem people arrived on foot, by bus, by cab, by sheer determination. They stand outside the building with faces tight, waiting to see if the city will do what it always does. Keep a black man in a cell just because it can. The precinct door opens. Bumpy steps out. Alive. Free. Calm. The crowd erupts. Not violence. Not chaos. Cheering. A hero's welcome. Women clap. Men shout his name. Someone laughs in disbelief. Someone else shakes their head like they're watching a magic trick. They arrested Bumpy, a man says to nobody. And he free in 10 minutes. O'Malley watches from a window inside, face stiff. He sees the crowd's reaction and realizes what he's done. He didn't humiliate Bumpy. He advertised Bumpy's reach. The limousines pull forward. Doors open. The councilman gestures politely. Bumpy steps into the center car. The cars glide away like a procession. Harlem watches them leave, the message sinking in. You can handcuff a man. But you can't handcuff what he's connected to. That evening, a phone rings in Bumpy's home. Mamie answers, listens, then hands the receiver to Bumpy without speaking. Her eyes already know what kind of call this is. Bumpy takes the phone. A voice on the other end is careful. Professional. Too smooth. The mayor. Mayor. Mr. Johnson. Bumpy's face doesn't change. Bumpy. Mayor. A pause. The mayor chooses his words like he's stepping across thin ice. Mayor. Let's avoid these misunderstandings in the future. Bumpy's voice is calm, almost polite. Bumpy. Then tell your officers to avoid me in the future. Silence on the line. Not anger. Calculation. Because the mayor understands something now. If he didn't already. This isn't just a gangster. This is a man with influence that can become inconvenient at the wrong time. A man who can move communities. A man who can make headlines by doing nothing at all. They speak a little longer. Not in threats. In implications. In favors traded quietly like envelopes. An agreement forms. Unspoken but real. Bumpy will keep Harlem calm when the city needs calm. The city will keep certain officers away from Bumpy when Bumpy needs space. Real protection doesn't look like bodyguards. It looks like the police commissioner calling a precinct captain and saying one word. Release. Detective O'Malley is transferred. Not officially punished. Not formally disciplined. Just removed. Desk duty. Staten Island. Far from Harlem. Far from the trophy he wanted. He tells people it was politics. He tells people it was corruption. He tells people whatever helps him sleep. But he never returns to Harlem with swagger again. The final artifact of that day is a mugshot that never makes it into the system. A photograph taken. A fingerprint card inked. Then erased. Lost. Misfiled. Burned. Officially, the arrest never happened. No record. No charge. No case number that survives. Just a story Harlem tells each other like scripture. They arrested Bumpy Johnson. 10 minutes later they had to let him go. Theme is simple. Real power isn't violence. It's political connections. It's leverage. It's the quiet network of people who owe you their position and don't want the debt to become public. And it raises a question that doesn't have a clean answer. If the law can be bent for a man like Bumpy, what happens to the people who have no one to call? If a phone call can erase a warrant, what is justice actually worth? If this story made you think about how power really works behind the scenes, hit subscribe. We're not glorifying crime. We're exposing the uncomfortable mechanics of influence, corruption, and survival in a city that runs on favors as much as it runs on laws. Drop a comment with your take. Was Bumpy's 10-minute release proof of corruption? Or proof that Harlem had built its own political shield because the system never protected them first? Turn on notifications for more untold stories like this, the moments that didn't make the official record but shaped the streets anyway. And the last image stays haunting. A mugshot that was never filed. A fingerprint card that vanished. A man who was handcuffed at 3 p.m. and free by 3:22. Officially, it never happened. Harlem remembers anyway.